Hi everyone, so welcome back. If you are not doing this challenge along with us, I hope that we can encourage you to join us at any point and just to challenge yourself to find those gaps in what you have in your pantry, in your freezers, the food you're growing, the food you are harvesting. So since this is Monday, I thought this was the perfect time to go through with you what we basically have been eating the last week so that we aren't spending as much kind of eating what we have. And then I'm also going to go through our plans for food for this week, kind of our meals for this week. So if I start from last week, we started our hashtag February, oh gosh, I already did it wrong. Hashtag $50 February 2023 challenge. We started in the middle of the week, so I don't really have a full week's worth of meals that we were doing. We had made pot pie a few days earlier, so we had some leftover chicken pot pie, which was just chicken from the freezer, potatoes from our root cellar, which we did not grow, carrots, and then I just made like a roux sauce. And I made a real quick kind of like crumble biscuit top with some lard and flour and salt and things like that. So it wasn't super intricate. So one of the days we had that. One of the days I made a spinach salad with spinach from the greenhouse, onions and garlic still from the garden that are still doing well, and bacon, and then just kind of like an olive oil, lemon juice, drizzle, salad dressing. I guess that was our side. We also had a baked chicken that night and baked potatoes. I was out of sour cream, and we had ranch dressing on the side. The next night we had homemade pizza. That's kind of just our typical Friday night. We do homemade pizza almost every Friday, and on this particular Friday we were getting ready for a birthday party where we were going to be serving homemade pizza. So we were just whipping them out, making a ton of pizzas, and we ended up having to cancel the birthday party. We actually rescheduled it, so it's all good, but we had to cancel it because we had a sick kid. So thankfully what we were making was pizzas, and they were going in the freezer, so they all got wrapped up. They're in the freezer, and we'll be able to use those later at the birthday party. But it definitely is changing, what I'm going to be able to do with the food, because I will probably have to buy some things coming up for that birthday party that I had not planned on. One of the nights we just did kind of like a fridge clean out. We had some leftover ground pork, ground beef, and then a bunch of random veggies. I threw green beans in there, the rest of the carrots that I hadn't used in the pot pie, and I can't remember what was all in there. I think I even threw the rest of the spinach salad in there, so it had bacon and things. And I added some random leftover sauces, teriyaki and things, and we put that over rice, and that was pretty good. And then the last meal we had this week was we told the kids we were having pizza rolls. So what Matt did is he rolled out some dough just like you would cinnamon roll pizza dough, and he fixed it with pizza toppings, so some sauce, some cheese, some meat, and then peppers and onions and things from the freezer. So all things we have on hand. We do have a friend who seems to always be supplying us with pepperonis, so we have been in pepperonis, I feel like, for years. Onions are ones that we also got from them probably almost a year and a half ago at this point, that are in the freezer, and then all the green peppers are from our garden. We also had a bunch of fresh veggies that were supposed to be for the birthday party that we're going to have to eat our way through. So I steamed half a gigantic bag of broccoli and put that in the pizza roll, and then we basically rolled it up like a cinnamon roll, cut it, baked it, added more cheese on top. They were delicious. So those were our main meals, our suppers, and then everything else, we do kind of wing it a little bit. I think planning out what you're going to have when you're on a strict budget and you're trying to use up what you have is really important, but we have to have some wiggle room. So for breakfast, mostly during the week, Matt is usually making breakfast, and he'll make the kids oatmeal or something with eggs, whether it's eggs and toast or an egg sandwich or something. Just that's pretty basic what they're having for breakfast every morning before school. Then on the weekends, we like to do something fun if we have a little more time. So this weekend we weren't going to have a lot of time because we had so much planned, and with a sick kid, that kind of got thrown out the window. So we were able to make things like waffles and some fruit that we were going to use for the party, and we were able to make things like I made eggs Benedict with some hollandaise sauce, and my hollandaise sauce was not my best batch, but It was still delicious, and we were able to make some things like that. As far as lunches go, we tend to stick with leftovers. It's just really simple to make extra and then be able to use it for leftovers. And then if we don't have that, we always have things on hand for sandwiches. I usually make my own bread, fresh bread, and then I'm trying to be better and better about having tortillas on hand that are homemade. So I'm making big batches, throwing them in the freezer so we can make things like quesadillas and wrap. Now, for me, especially when we are challenging ourselves to be like this, I have to have treats and sweets in our house, and the only way really to do that is to be making the things. So I tried making homemade vanilla pudding for the first time, and I have been waiting and waiting to try this. I ended up with some bowls that my grandma used to always make pudding for me and when I was a little girl, and I tried to use them for the first time, and my pudding never set. It was delicious eggnog, the kids said. So instead of just tossing it, well, the kids did drink some of it because they wanted to try it, but I repurposed it. I went ahead and I was making strawberry jam, and I took the extra jam that didn't fit in my jars, and I mixed the strawberry jam with the vanilla pudding that didn't set, and I put it in the freezer and made popsicles for the kids for treats. So just having sweets is really important. We had that. We made cookie bars a couple times. I made like a quick fudge with some chocolate chips and some sweetened condensed milk I had in the cupboard. And I think that was about it for this last week, kind of what we eaten as we start the challenge. All right, so as we're going into a new week, today is Monday, so I'm going to just be telling you kind of our plans for the week. Obviously, they've already started since it's Monday, and I tend to think of the week starting on Monday and the weekend kind of being the end wrap up of the week. So for Monday, we had breakfast for supper. This was what we planned because the birthday kiddo wanted breakfast for supper. So the request was for pancakes. So I made a whole bunch of pancakes, regular size batch, even though we weren't just having that. Package of bacon. So that's from our pork, and about a dozen eggs. Birthday kiddo wanted strawberries. So we cooked some strawberries from the freezer to put on top of all that. And then I also had homemade cupcakes and homemade ice cream for the day. It was a lot of carbs, heavy carb meal. But anyways, we're able to have some of those things for supper tonight. Now our plans into the week. So that's Monday's plan. Tuesday, I'm planning orange chicken, and I have been craving orange chicken for a while. And I have this recipe I love to use, which uses orange marmalade. And a while back, I got some Satsuma oranges from the fruit truck, and Grammy's midwife, Lisa, reached out and was like, "Are you making orange marmalade?" And I was like, "What?" This did not even occur to me that I could make my own orange marmalade. And next year, you better believe I'm making orange marmalade. So Lisa sent us some of hers. So thank you, Lisa. And so we're going to be using that in our orange chicken tomorrow. I'm so excited. And she also sent the kids some candied orange peels. Matt and I have definitely been enjoying them as well. So that was just a really nice treat. And this was something I planned on making. I had all the peels in the fridge. By the time I finally found time to do it, my peels were hard, and I ended up having to toss them to the animals. So next year, I'm hoping I can be a little more organized, make some orange marmalade with that, and make some candied orange peels because delicious. So I'm really excited for the orange chicken. I'm going to be making it with pasta. My kids aren't really huge rice fans, and we've had rice a couple times this week, so just kind of switching it up. So I have some spaghetti because tomorrow night will be kind of busy. So I have some spaghetti noodles in the freezer that I made another day with you guys, and I'm going to be using pork broth to cook them in. That way I can save my pork broth and use it for another meal, but it's going to have that just really great better flavor for my pasta. So I think that'll be really good. The orange chicken and that. I still have some leftover hollandaise sauce. So I think on the side, we're going to have some steamed veggies. I have broccoli and cauliflower that were supposed to be for that birthday party that are going to have to get used up sooner rather than later. So I think we're going to have steamed broccoli, cauliflower with hollandaise sauce, and then orange chicken on pasta. It's gonna be so good. And then we're gonna eat all that. I just know it. And then on Wednesday, our plan is to make the Mississippi pot roast. So my plan is to use the leftover pork broth from cooking the pasta the night before and use that pork broth, and instead of like au jus, in my Mississippi pot roast, and then usually it calls for ranch seasoning, which I do still have some of. I need to figure out how to make my own, but I'm going to use that and the pork broth that'll be used in place of the au jus, the ranch seasoning, our own canned pepperoncinis that I haven't tried yet, so I'm not sure what to expect. And then I didn't even realize we were out of beef roast, so we're actually using some steak we pulled out. So we're gonna do it with steak. It's definitely one of our favorite meals. And then we still have so many veggies left. I'm sure we'll be able to steam up some veggies, maybe with some butter, salt, and pepper or something. So it's kind of our plan for the week. That only gets us through Wednesday. And the reason we kind of stopped there is because otherwise we're gonna end up with just loads and loads of food, more so than we can eat, and we don't want to be tossing food. So Thursday is usually leftover night when it works out. I mean, that's really nice to be able to have meal, and then you can kind of pick what's left over, especially if there's different things. Everybody can kind of pick what they want. And then Friday we'll probably go back to homemade pizza, and we'll make some pizza and probably have like chips and salsa with it. So pretty simple. I actually have no intentions of getting anything for these meals from the store. I will probably go to the store towards the end of the week, so I'll share that with you on Thursday, kind of what it's looking at like. And my guess is it will be things for that rescheduled birthday party, since we'll have eaten all the fresh veggies for a dip and quite a bit of the fruit. So we'll just kind of see what we've got, and we'll go from there. So anyways, I am so excited to hear what you guys are doing for hashtag $50 February 2023. What you're cooking, how you're using what you have, how you're using what you grew and what you raised at your own home. I just think it's so exciting and so wonderful. Of course, we all have things that we just are going to have to buy, but that's just part of it. And it's really nice to be able to see kind of where those things lie. So glad you got to see me again. Bye.